Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. As you can probably tell, I'm going to do some pick a card readings today. I haven't done one of these in ages, and I had an idea to do this pick a card reading a while back and then I forgot, as you do, got a bit busy. And then I remembered the other day that I really wanted to do a pick a fairy tale card reading using the Fairytale Oracle. It's quite a new deck for my channel. You might have seen it featured when I did a review and walkthrough of it. If you want to see all the cards in all their glory, then do check that out as I do a walkthrough. And they are really beautiful cards. Had a lot of compliments on them, and I do love them myself. I've used them a few times in readings, but I really wanted to do one reading where I just use these cards because they're so beautiful and it kind of showcases them. So for these readings, we've got 3 different fairy tales. I'd say go with the one you're drawn to the most. It could be your favourite fairy tale, for example, or an image you're drawn to. Obviously, you can watch more than one if you wish. It's up to you. And I'll put the timestamps below to make it easier for you to find the reading. I'll just show you the cards. The first one is Sleeping Beauty, the Kiss. Beautiful image there. Second one is Beauty and the Beast, Rose. And the third one is Snow White, Magic Mirror. I noticed when I put the cards out, this is purely coincidence by the way, the flowers in all of them that kind of link, like it's, like they're all sort of part of the same rose bush or something, or, frame. So that's quite wonderful because these were all selected by Spirit, they all jumped out the deck. So as I said, see which one you're drawn to the most, and then we're going to look in more detail at each card and the messages that could be there for you. So we'll put these ones to one side for now and start with the first one, Sleeping Beauty, the Kiss. There's a butterfly there for change. Obviously this is the moment, isn't it, the kiss, where things changed. For Sleeping Beauty, when her prince arrived, kissed her, she was awake, and then the sleeping castle also came awake. The hedge of thorns blossomed with roses, so that's why there's the flowers, I guess, in this card, which is very beautiful. So maybe you're drawn to this story, this fairy tale. I'm sure a lot of you will know the fairy tale, so I won't sort of bore you with that. The card number is 8. This is Integration. I've got the book. It's always interesting to look and see, what they include in terms of symbolism. It says, kisses are often thought of as a sign of passionate love, but in truth, there are many different reasons for pressing your lips against something. In ancient Sumer, a pictograph shows a man kissing his fingers and then gesturing to the sky as an act of prayer. A practice that still survives today whenever we blow someone a kiss. Kissing the hand of a woman was once an act of courtesy, and to kiss a religious icon denotes reverence. So obviously it's a powerful moment of connection between humans, as we can see here. Now for some of you this could be a sign that this is to come with a butterfly, a change in your love life, your prince or princess arriving, so to speak. So it's the union obviously of the prince and princess. But it's interesting what it says in the book. Again, it's not just the coming together of man and woman, but also the masculine and feminine principles within. So the integration within us of our masculine and feminine energies. Carl Jung called these forces in the psyche the anima, the personification of feminine traits such as sensitivity, empathy and gentleness, and the animus, the masculine tendencies of assertiveness, courage and strength. So when these two sides of your psyche are divided and at odds with each other, you're less than your greatest potential. Anger and a desire to dominate and control, or passivity and powerlessness may gain the upper hand. Yeah, so this is what's happening for some in the collective, and as a result, for some, this is where actual physical unions may happen as well. But as I said, it doesn't have to just be that. This is the unity of people, consciousness as well, collective consciousness, for example, that's aligning. With the hands touching there, sort of, connection, getting human connection. For some people, where they've been maybe alone, isolated for a while. I mean, it's even number 8, which I see as integration, like the kind of yin-yang sort of symbol. You might have a dream where you're kissing someone, could be passionate. For example, could be someone you know, you recognise them in the dream. Now, this obviously can have many meanings. The one that's coming to me, for some of you, is like a desire of connection. But it can also be this person visiting you in your dreams, in the spirit realm, astral realm, let's say, and you're reconnecting there before your physical union. So pay attention to that, because there are actually 2 butterflies, I just noticed, in this card. So 2 people who are integrating, becoming whole. You know what I've just remembered, just seeing this butterfly, is that about an hour ago I was in the kitchen cooking and a butterfly flew into my yard. And it was like this, it was orange and black. It flew in, up and away. And that's the second time this summer that I've had a butterfly visit. I've had some birds as well recently. So you might get signs like that as well, that you keep seeing in nature. For example, as I said, in dreams. Butterflies are a beautiful sign, can also be an ancestor coming to visit you, which is very special. You know, something else that's just coming to me with Sleeping Beauty is like awakening. So for some of you, you know, you might have been alone, single for a while, and this has been for your own integration, your own healing and growth. And as you're awakening, this is again when this person may enter your life. So it's like, almost like their kiss awakens you as well. That can be another thing that happens. You meet someone and they awaken your soul, open your heart. It's interesting, the butterfly here is near her heart. Heart opener. This can happen with people you meet. They awaken something within your soul, like unlock your heart. Oh, well, I'm getting emotions now suddenly. You might get overwhelming emotions when this happens. When they kiss you, even that could even be the activation when they kiss you. And you will do the same for them. For some of you, if that happens, it could just be a one-off meeting and that's it. But for others, this person returns. They are your one. You have a mission together. Sorry, my camera just got out there. I'm not sure if I said it. They may awaken your gifts. If you have psychic gifts, you might suddenly have this activation where your gifts come online. You start remembering things about past lives. You might have past life dreams about this person. So they could be, you know, soulmate to inflame, whatever label you want to put on it. And for some of you, you've separated because you both had to grow individually, learn lessons. And I'm really feeling for some of you, the time is coming up quite soon for union. Depends where you're at in your journey, but you'll receive signs if that's the case. As I said about butterflies being one, you might suddenly start seeing their name, you might keep having visions of them in your mind's eye, dreams where it feels like they're real. You might keep seeing their name, lookalikes, reminders, songs that come on and you just feel it's them speaking to you through the lyrics, probably is, or a song that you both loved, you know. You might just suddenly start having a lot of memories of your times together coming out of the blue, and that's showing them coming back. Energetically, they're coming back. So I'm getting a lot of emotions here. So I'm really feeling this is happening for some of you. Yeah, this has all just come out in the reading. Wasn't expecting this at all. But anyway, isn't it a beautiful image? I really do love the images in this deck. Because I'm just doing one card, I'm going to finish with a charm. I don't usually do them like this, just one card, but I think it's quite nice to just see what comes out. And obviously interpret them as you wish to as well. But let's just finish with a charm. Wow, we got a shoe. It was a shame we didn't have Cinderella. It's a fairy tale, but that could be another fairy tale some of you love. Obviously, you know, both of them, in fact, are about love, aren't they? And this can show a love connection, actually. The shoe. It shows your life path, your journey, maybe starting a new journey for some of you. Starting again, maybe your person is as well. You're both being guided together towards this union, I feel. Taking that first step, so that could be what happens. You know, this person, as I said, you might be getting signs because they're thinking about you, they're thinking about how to approach you. If it's not someone you've already met, this could be someone you meet and then this happens. So take what resonates, obviously. Yeah, it's a sign of transition, creativity, staying grounded, having faith. So I think that's a really beautiful one to end on there with that reading. Really hope you've enjoyed this. Sort of mini readings, aren't they? But I quite enjoy doing them, you know. I did one recently for members like this. I quite enjoyed it. I might do that again. I do pick a card readings for members, by the way, if you'd like to join, for AB community and above. So anyway, on to the second reading. We've got Beauty and the Beast, Rose. It's number 13. Now, I think this is my favourite fairy tale. Actually, I've got to say, Beauty and the Beast. 2 cards came out, in fact, from Beauty and the Beast, but I said to Spirit I'd like to do 3 different ones, you know, to give you all a bit more selection. So I'm sure you know the story of Beauty and the Beast. Obviously, again, all about love. It's quite a good one, I think, because it shows how, you know, you fall in love with the soul. It's not about looks, what someone has, you know, their status. For example, she fell in love with the Beast, obviously, and then it turns out he was a prince. So she did all right in the end. But anyway, yeah, again, a really beautiful image, isn't it? The message here is love is worth the risk. So I'll just read a little bit from the book again, because this is a new deck. It says roses are ancient flowers that predate human history. So it's not surprising they have a rich and complex symbolic history. Roses are the last flowers to bloom in spring and used to bloom just once, which made them representative of the transience of life. In Greek mythology, roses were created from the same sea foam as Aphrodite, the goddess of love and sex. Sorry, I thought that said sea there in the book, sorry everyone. And they were associated with her from the beginning. Originally they were white, can't read today. Sorry, my camera just cut out, probably a good thing because I'm struggling to read this. One day Aphrodite ran to save the life of her beloved Adonis after he'd been gored by a boar. She steps on a rose thorn that pierces her heel, and her flowing blood stains the petals red. So now white roses and red roses have very different connotations. Well, that's interesting. In terms of the history. Do you know something I've just remembered? I've got to say, after having read this book in detail, it's really interesting reading not only the story but the history of this fairy tale. Kate Forsyth, she really does know a lot about the history. It's very interesting stuff in here that I didn't know about. I really enjoyed reading it. It was more like a book than a deck, I found, but the deck can be used in readings very successfully as well. But I just really love that, you know, the little bit of history weaved throughout. So I won't read it all, obviously, but it says that when beauty asks for the gift of rose, she's not just asking for a pretty flower. She wants to know joy and sorrow, life and death, passion and pain. It's only by risking the sharp thorns of the rose that she's able to enjoy its voluptuous beauty. So the meaning of the rose is a reminder that everything has a cost. But if you do not risk the thorns, you cannot pluck the rose. Well, that's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so true. In terms of love, what I'm getting with this one is like, some people would love this, to experience this connection, seem like a connection, to reach out to someone they find really beautiful, like a rose, but they're worried about that risk of being pricked by the thorn, turned down, for example. But what have you got to lose? Love is worth the risk. If someone has deep feelings in their heart, they cannot turn them off. They keep thinking of someone, they keep looking at someone. They know that person's in their heart and no one else will be, no one compares. Then that's love, right? That's true love. I mean, it could be obsession. You've got to discern, obviously. But I think that's what holds a lot of people back, is fear. Fear of what might go wrong. What do they feel? So what? Why not just express yourself anyway? Even if it is just saying, I think you look beautiful today. Giving someone a compliment. I'm picking up on a few energies who've experienced this, sort of it's resonating, where you've had missed opportunities and you wished you'd taken that risk, gone a bit further, said how you feel, not let fear get in the way. Maybe some people, might not be you as well, it could be someone else, take what resonates. Some people didn't think they were worthy of love, worthy of the person, although they were very attracted to the person, but they didn't know how the other person felt. And I'm picking up on a lot of lost roses out there who wonder why they were left. You know, these beautiful souls. It's amazing the way I get these visions. This is how I'm seeing it. These beautiful souls out there who were left behind, but they're so beautiful, special, chosen, loving. I'm getting emotions again. You might as well. And there's nothing wrong with them. But out of fear, some people turned their back and they actually went to a situation that was karmic, toxic. The grass wasn't greener on the other side. And some of those energies are now turning back and looking back at these beautiful roses and seeing them for what they were, what they missed. That beautiful blooming rose that helped their heart to bloom. The rose that saw them for who they are, that saw their soul, saw their heart, felt what they were feeling without them even having to tell them. I'm getting very deep connections here, soul connections. And you don't come across these every day, you know. And I'm also seeing here this hair clip, like the infinity symbol, infinite love. You know, it always comes back around. So this is what I'm feeling for some, where maybe someone misinterpreted, kind of in the beast role. Let's say, I'm not saying you or anyone looks like a beast, but I'm just saying, you know, like maybe there was some judgment, like, oh, they were too old, they weren't the right type, the family said no, they're not right for you, go in this direction. You know, there was pressure, peer pressure, for example. However, that person's heart was always drawn back to the beast, for example, just using the beast as the example here, they were connected. Like Beauty and the Beast were a soul connection, always meant to be together. Going against what society thought she should be, she went against that, she ignored them and went with her heart, and then she ended up with what society then looked up to with awe, because they saw that she had this wonderful castle, you know, the prince, but she didn't care about that. She cared about what was in her heart, and that's what's most important. Wow, and 13 is the number of the death card, about transformation. So yeah, I'm getting like changes in the heart with this card for some people. Maybe for some it's happening now, like changing your way of thinking, that it's not all about the things I mentioned, you know, society, what they expect of you, but it's about how you feel, because it's your life, not theirs. Why go with what society wants when they're not living your life? You are, you know, to put it simply. And for some, I'm getting that there's this transformation, spiritual awakening happening, where this realization is going on, this stirring in the heart of emotions, drawing them back to that rose that they once left to wither. They thought the rose withered, but it didn't. The rose bloomed. And some of these energies are in awe because they're realizing how some of you, I feel this is some of you watching, you've bloomed, you're glowing. They might feel it energetically, they might not actually see you, but they're feeling it. And they're just being drawn back to you energetically. Wow, okay, so that all just came out channeled as well, as they are on these readings. Just sort of doing one card for these readings. Now obviously take what you will from it, you might get something else from the image as well, in this beautiful card as well. But let's finish with a charm for this reading. Anything else for the viewers? And we got a dolphin. That's beautiful. So a symbol of playfulness. I was just thinking of the Little Mermaid there suddenly with that one. It's a shame we didn't get that fairy tale come through. But it's a sign of friendship, teamwork, harmony, happiness, protection, rebirth, strength. So again, linking with this story, you know, I'm getting that strong, you know, love starts from friendship and then it builds and grows, blooms like a rose. You may work together as a team in the future. It could be someone you worked with in the past. Could be a friend, even right now. You're being guided to be playful, have fun, like the dolphin, and just go with the flow, so to speak. Don't overthink it. So, you know, if someone comes into your life, for example, try and be in that energy of the dolphin. Or if someone returns, let them in. Because see how she's letting this rose in. She's not afraid of the thorn pricking her. Don't let fear get in the way. It's the message. You might love the ocean, the sea, could be somewhere you're being guided to go, somewhere where you met this person by the sea. You could be getting memories of that time with them, or this could be where you meet. Again, take what resonates. Okay, so we'll leave that one there. Again, really beautiful in terms of what came through. So for the third reading, if you were drawn to this one, we've got Snow White, Magic Mirror, and the message is self-reflection. So it could be a time to reflect. For some of you, you might find lots of memories are coming up for you at the moment, things you're being guided to look at, deep within, not just like at a surface level, like in Snow White, when obviously she just asked mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. It was all the obsession with her looks. I'm not saying that about you, but that is what we get in society, that sort of surface level, how do I look, not how do I feel deep down. So that's quite interesting. And obviously with a mirror, it can show us a lot of things. I'm just reading a little bit from the book. Mirrors have long been seen as having shamanistic powers, used by seers and prophets to scry the past or future, or connect with gods and spirits. They're also a dynamic tool for self-discovery and self-reflection, as they allow you to not only see yourself, but also parts of you that are usually unseen. They're a threshold between your conscious and unconscious minds, a place where you might see your shadow self. Yeah, so this card, it says, this invites you to enter a state of self-reflection. Ask yourself what dark, difficult emotions you're keeping repressed and what they reveal about your past and your now. Think about how you're being held back or restrained by old patterns or behaviours or societal norms. Ask yourself how you could break free of these constraints and move towards your best self. So you could try journaling with that one, couldn't you? Looking at those emotions that keep you stuck. How do you feel about yourself and your past? Is your past in the present? This comes out quite a lot in my readings. I'm seeing like cracks here, like shattered dreams. With this one, not sure if you can see that in the card. So I'm getting like some people who are allowing what's gone wrong in the past to shape them now. And maybe you're feeling disheartened, low as a result of that. But you can change the way you see yourself. See it as a lesson, whatever it was. See it as a lesson. Some things aren't meant to be. You're meant to learn the lesson and move on, especially if it's karmic. We've got a crow. You might see a lot of crows or birds as signs. Crows are very mystical. So they might sort of give you a sign if you see them. Obviously linked to seers, like I was just saying about the mirror. So you might find seeing them sort of enhances your gift, for example. You might even want to try things like scrying with a mirror, water, that kind of thing, going a bit deeper. Obviously don't try anything too difficult first time, let's say. But some of you do have gifts, I feel, already, and you might be looking to enhance them. But I'm really getting like how you see yourself at a simple level with the mirror. And for some of you it's about changing the way you see yourself, and that's when you can change your world. Because it could also be not only your beliefs, but what was said to you when you were younger. For example, I'm getting emotions here. Maybe in your family, when you're at school, and you've like held on to those beliefs about yourself. So I'm seeing here she's got her hand over her heart. It's like she's blocked her heart from the opportunities that could come in. Connections, love, friendships, because of those situations that have maybe built distrust for some of you, not wanting to let others in. So it could be time to look at that. Now, have compassion as you do that, especially if shame comes up. If shame comes up, that can be a sign that you need self-compassion, more self-compassion, let's say. Be kind to yourself and what you say to yourself, because that has an effect on the way you see yourself and others see you as well. So I'm really getting self-love with this one. Also 42 breaks down to 6, number of harmony and love. So that's the message we're getting with this one. I'm going to finish with a charm as well. I'm just doing 1 card readings for this one, which I quite enjoy. You just get one specific message. And we got musical notes. Yeah, so music could help you to uplift yourself, first of all, in your healing. I also get chakras with musical notes, you know, aligning your chakras, because I'm getting, for some of you, you've got blocked chakras, in particular the heart chakra. It can show spiritual awareness, messages you might receive through music as well, through the divine, through your angels, even through a passed on loved one who wants to give you a message. And it might really touch you, it might bring up an emotion from within. I often get synchronicity with music as well, because sometimes that can happen. You just randomly hear a song, someone driving past in a car, or like out the back, for example. I get that sometimes. Out the back they put music on, and it reminds me of a time in my life, for example, you know, different moods come up, emotions. Does that happen for you? If so, look at it. You know, go deep and look at that. If there's something that's triggering, for example. You might also want to put music on to uplift yourself, you know, get dancing, shift your energy. For example, listen to calming music to ground you as you meditate as well. That could help. Yeah, I'm seeing the leaves here as well, showing turning over a new leaf, new start, new you, new chapter, if you can do this. You might also meet someone who's a mirror. That's just coming through to me now as well. This can happen. So they mirror something to you that maybe you don't want to look at, in terms of yourself, or something about them you don't like, and it's mirroring a part of you that you don't want to look at from your shadow. So if that's the case, look at that. Especially if you're saying, oh, I really don't like that person. There's something about you that you don't like. It's never about the other person. But anyway, I'll leave that there in terms of the therapy side of this. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I've really enjoyed doing this, actually. As I said, I really wanted to do it for a while, just as something different, and just to use one deck that I love personally. I really hope you've enjoyed it too. Let me know in the comments if you wish, if anything came through that resonated for you. Really appreciate you all for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. Thank you so much. I'll be back soon to do another reading. Sending peace, love and light to you all.